an early guest of ours, and I loved him. Although we teased him, uh, and probably still will today. An early guest of ours was a guy who called himself Ken the Vegan. He's a proponent of eating vegetables. He's also an activist when it comes to the whales, when it comes to factory farming and chickens and all of these things that Jody, I know, believes in more compassion
Yeah.
for animals. And of course, he believes in total compassion, like not even eating them. I compassionately eat animals.
I only eat the ones that had happy lives.
Yeah, and you bless the food and then dig right into the meat.
Right.
But anyway, what I loved about Ken is that he embodies the spirit of good people who are close to nature, and I've always appreciated that sort of thing. And also, he was kind of ahead of his time as far as Seattle goes. When I think about the things he used to talk about 20, 25 years ago, and I look around today at all of the organic local farms, and you look at the trend towards more education when it comes to food. Just look at what Spike and Joe are going through now. They're realizing that all of this packaged, pre-processed food is toxic to human beings and yet sold by human beings to other human beings because of factories and corporations. And by the way, I love corporations. Frankly, a corporation has always handed me a piece of paper with money on it. And yeah, I love getting
Yeah,
paid.
bought your
And
love.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you work for a giant corporation too, or have in the past.
That's not that big. Just
What is it,
builds.
2 people?
Well, it builds airplanes.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Out of vegetables, though.
And
It's
vegetable
completely
airplanes.
all vegan air.
So,
Yeah.
in other words, we live in the real world, and I think it's really good to aspire, although it's a terrible name for a car. There is a car called the Aspire,
yeah.
but it's a really cheap car, and I always, every time I see that car, I go, "Is that all you aspire to?" But anyway, I digress. I think it's good to aspire to be kinder to animals, to be kinder to the planet, and kinder to your body. And so, when we were thinking of the special people on the show, that we want to say thank you for all your years of unpaid service to the audience. Ken the Vegan is definitely, the only one we could get. Hi.
Oh, I wake up early enough to make it in here before work sometimes. So
Yeah. Well, no, you're, when I say the only one we could get, I mean, we had like 50 other people. They said no. And then I said, well, let's call Ken then.
and I appreciate it, Bob. I mean, it's just been
Being
great.
the 51st person is still pretty high up on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always
Just teasing him.
it's always been fantastic
love you,
working.
man.
Ken
coming
has
in here.
what's the vegetable, the National Vegetable Day? What is it called? The Meat Out Day?
The meat out day, yeah. That's our first day of spring usually.
Mm.
Asking everybody to take a day to not eat animals. For those of us who already don't, hey, it's
Right.
easy.
What day is that? Because we're not going to see you there.
Like March 21st, March 20th.
Next year,
something
If
yeah.
like that.
that's too hard to remember, then you could just follow Meat Free Mondays.
Oh, they do that too?
That's
Every
a real
Monday.
thing.
I wonder why they do that when there's no fresh vegetables around. I mean,
March.
Yeah, because you would think I could easily go without meat right now. There is such a wealth of wonderful, fresh, local produce out
Joe,
there.
there's always fresh vegetables.
Well, there's
around.
vegetables from Chile and stuff. I mean, that you're getting your southern hemisphere vegetables in
Mm.
March.
That's true. So, Ken, anyway, welcome. How are you, dude?
Doing good. Doing
you look good. You're happy.
Yes.
I remember when we first met you, you were kind of a single, lonely guy. We used to say people that only eat vegetables are very lonely. Then you got a beautiful
Did they used to
companion.
say that?
All
If you want to
the
meet a nice
time.
woman, you better get a
get
steak.
a steak, brother.
Eat a steak. That's
they,
right.
They've pretty much said about everything possible in here.
Yeah.
I sent Pedro and Eric a little clip. I mean, actually, a guy who used to be on your show a long time ago, a guy named Tex.
Oh,
I haven't
yeah.
heard
Tex
of him in a
Winchester.
long
I had
time.
many debates with
Well,
Tex
you know what he
Winchester.
You know what he does now?
Is he still
No,
is the
Gandalf's
weather.
weather. He does Gandalf's weather now.
Let's drill for some cold air.
Yes, that's right. Now I got to ask you. You knew we were having fun the whole time, right? We never hurt your feelings, did we?
Nah, you guys, it was absolutely great working up here.
Right. We were
over the
giving
years.
time
Yeah.
to the anti-meat stance, and it always bothered us a little bit. Like there's probably some meat lovers out there that may, not want to hear it, but we figured we'd
Oh, there were plenty. It
Goof
was
around.
kind of a regular segment. Call and beat on Ken. I mean, there were a lot.
I do
of,
recall that, yeah.
there was a lot of meat lovers.
Well, we've talked about a lot of topics. Like right now, one of the things is to free elephants. We want.
You're eating elephant?
No.
It's not made of meat. So
This is a big deal, and you're right. Elephants may be gone in our lifetime.
Talk about that because I have
actually-
read a little bit about this.
Actually, I'm thinking more of, not having them just in cages for public display. And right now, Seattle really seems poised to tell Woodland Park Zoo, hey, that is just not cool to do.
Let's get rid of your elephants. What do we do with them, though? Because free-range elephants in the wild,
There's a
they'll be
number-
they'll be in more danger than they are in the zoo, won't they?
No.
There's an
Well,
off
first of
ramp
all-
in Redmond. That's
Yeah,
perfect
where do we
for
put
them.
where do we
Yeah.
put the
Fir-
Woodland
fir-
Park elephant?
First
Yeah.
of all, there's several
Cloverleaf.
sanctuaries around the country that have land
That
that are-
donated them for that, yes.
that
Okay.
that's where the elephant should go. And I mean,
Now, why do
probably-
you say an elephant shouldn't be in captivity?
I don't think any animal should be in a tiny
I know that's
cage.
why I want it. Why are you focusing on the elephants especially?
I think it's one thing where Seattle has really woken up. You say 25 years ago, how things have changed in 25
Sure.
years. Now you look every day in the Seattle Times, there's an article saying, Woodland Park should let the elephants go.
25 years ago, we had a gorilla in a shopping mall. I mean, down there in Tacoma.
Did we really?
Oh yeah. There was a
Ivan.
Yeah, it was Ivan the gorilla, and there was a stink about that. It's like Ivan's been living in this cage in this mall for years. Let's
Terrible.
get rid of him.
Wow. Yeah. Things do change
Things are
over the years.
changing.
So what will we do about taking our kids to the circus, though? This sounds like the elephant thing would be a bummer for that.
Yeah. They're two totally different things. Let me help you, Ken.
Yeah.
The reason that people want the elephants specifically to be removed from the zoos is because they are lonely, they're sad, and they're actually very sentient beings.
They're
who-
like human beings.
Yes,
Like the
very
orca
much.
whales.
They live
Yeah.
for a really long time,
Yeah.
and there's simply not enough room. They walk miles a day out in the wilderness. And although the Woodland Park Zoo is a wonderful zoo, and by comparison,
And you like it. You go there.
I
Yeah.
do like it. I typically don't look at the elephants or the orangutans because I personally get upset because I don't think that that's right. I hate to say
No,
cute
and I think this
know.
is fine, by the way. This is how morals and things change over time, and there's always a resistance to it, as there was to same-sex marriage, as there was to medicinal marijuana even. Ideas change a little bit over time, and it's weird. As a human being, like, I kind of think that us eating meat, you might have several thousand years of work ahead of you on that one.
Hopefully not quite that long, but
Yeah.
it's not going to happen next week.
But
No, it's not.
Zoos versus circuses, it's not even close.
Yeah, but elephants in captivity, I kind of can get with that. As Jody says, like the orca whale. As I learned more about the orca whale and how they were capturing them and making them put on shows, I got to understand. There's a lot of people that believe that there's humans and lower animal species that are there for our amusement. And they believe those are the only two kinds of species there are. In other words, that humans are the...
Well, every animal is lower than us. I mean, when you think about
yeah,
it.
but the humans are the emperors. The humans are the czars of...
Right.
of
They're not all there just for our pleasure. Right?
all living things, and everything else is for our pleasure, and anybody who
Even if you subscribe to that, which I don't.
No, you don't. I don't either, by the
I
way.
don't think anybody in this room subscribes to
Nobody in
I
this
do.
room, no.
I'm-
Yeah, it's
I'm
Spike.
there. I'm totally there.
Just for the heck of it. No, no one really does.
But even if you do, why would you treat them so cruelly? I mean, if you had...
Tex
Okay,
Winchester,
okay.
because they're animals, and they're just
Okay,
animals.
you know-
Why are they made of meat? We weren't supposed to eat them.
There's Tex. Remember
How
Tex?
about this, Ken? How about a footbridge from the Woodland Park Zoo to Green Lake? The inside track of the lake is for humans. The outside track's for the elephants. They can walk all day long. Hey, maybe they won't be so fat.
Who's going to pay for it, though? Who's going to pay?
Tex, I'm just worried that
Here's what we do. Corporate sponsorship brought to you by Shell Oil. Big shell on the back of the elephant's ass. Beautiful.
I'm just
Look at
worried.
him. Oh, the hate is back. You've missed me.
I've missed you. Yeah. I'm just worried that you're gonna walk on the wrong side, and well, at least a year or two ago, we might not known which is the elephant and which is Spike.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. You know, I got this fat eating carrots. Wrong.
All right.
buddy.
Ken, thank you. Now, what did you bring us today? You brought us
just
some veggie cookies, right?
Vegan cookies. I brought these.
Most people don't know the cookies are loaded with meat. Tell me about that.
They're loaded, loaded with cow. Loaded with
Tell me how there's cow in cookies. Well, from butter, right?
from butter,
Yeah.
From milk.
from milk, and you know,
Chocolate?
some people. I mean, I think everybody except for one person in this room doesn't think elephants should be in cages. At least one person in this room
Doesn't
maybe
think butter should be in cages.
doesn't think cows should be in
Free
cages.
range butter. It'll just lay there waiting for you.
I gotta say, your cookies have come a long way, just in appearance. I mean, those are beautiful. They
Oh,
look
did
good
he used
looking
to bring
cookies.
in like weird little crumbly?
Well, they were
pieces of
kind of
crust.
little sandy looking little
coasters.
I mean, they were good. They were always pretty tasty. But
When
those,
he first said the word tofurkey, I thought he made it up. Ken the Vegan, thank you very much. Over the years, we've enjoyed having you out there, and here you are, still here after all these years.
Yeah, I'm happy you guys are still here. Well, at least
One more day.
one more.
Yeah.
Touche.
Thank you, Ken the
Uh,
Vegan.
it's
Send a
been-
nice message to Ken the Vegan. No matter what your point of view, send him a nice message on the text 52309. Coming up, Sean Alexander, Spike and the Impalers, Steve Poole, Cisco Morris. Last bit of gardening.